Do you believe in reliability and lean best practices? Here's a test for you. When your business goes into a down cycle, whether it's from raw material prices going up, you don't have as much volume, there's increased medical cost, you name it, whatever impacts your industry to cause a down cycle. I think that's a common term. You're in a down cycle, profits are going to be of a concern. What do? Do you cut cost? Do you cut cost? Cost cutting, folks, is an act of desperation. If you want to know if a leader's desperate, they say we need to cut cost. They lack another plan. They feel like they're out of options. Their back's in a corner. We need to reduce cost. Don't care how, reduce cost. Okay, act of desperation. You defer outages. You defer PMs, okay? You cut overtime and you stop rebuilds. All these things in desperation, it's like you're not going to be in business in 6 months or business in a year, and the organization sees that, okay? Leaders, these are panic actions, okay? Everybody knows it. You're not fooling anybody. Everybody knows they're panic actions, and they also demonstrate you have no faith in the best practices of reliability, maintenance, or in lean. You have no confidence in them because the first time you're in a corner and you're desperate to get a result, you drop all those best practices. Imagine if we did that in quality and in safety. You just dropped all those, just crazy. So what should you do, okay? This is Joe Kuhn of Lean Driven Reliability, bridging the gap between best practices that you should be doing. You just need help in figuring out how to do it in your culture and how to do it consistently in your culture. You can't have the starts and stops, the pauses of reliability. You just can't do that, okay? Reliability cultures and lean cultures require that you be all in. You don't do them halfway. You're going to be disappointed if you do them halfway. All in. What do I mean when I say you need to be all in? Okay? The principles work just as well in bad times as they do in good times. Okay? And you must act that way. You ask how you should be reducing waste faster rather than abandon all the best practices. How do you accelerate the deployment of best practices, accelerate the waste elimination that those bring, because waste elimination comes without risk. Cost cutting inflates risk. And everybody knows that, but they don't. Do you act like that? Okay? You're behaving like next year's not going to come. That's not leadership. I'm sorry, folks, that's not leadership. Lean and reliability will flounder and fail if it's a sideshow, okay? So you should expect disappointment. Sideshow, that's a reference to a circus, and at a circus, you have the main tent where you have the high wire acts and you have the lion taming, and then you have the parade of elephants. That's the main game. That's what people came to the circus for. But as you walk towards that main tent, there's these smaller tents with, the bearded lady, the strongest man, the tallest man, all these sideshow things that, they're entertaining, but they're not why you came to the circus. Is your reliability effort, is your lean effort, are they sideshows? Are they your main event? And if you pause them, you delay them, you abandon them in bad times, they're a sideshow. They're a sideshow. Reliability journeys fail because of leadership, okay? Not because we don't understand the tools, we don't understand the processes, we don't have enough money, we don't have the right people. It's leadership. 100% of the time I've seen reliability efforts die, it's because of leadership. You can't stop buying spare parts, cutting overtime, cutting heads in times of stress, okay? You got to go with what you know, okay? And the best practices is your best solution, short term and long term, if you know what you're doing. Here's 2 examples, okay? I love examples. Hopefully you do too. Now, this is an example of somebody being good but not great because they didn't embrace what reliability is all about. 15 years ago, I visited a plant that was nationally recognized for their reliability efforts, their reliability and maintenance efforts, nationally recognized. The plant was outstanding on their processes and discipline. Discipline of doing the job. But I asked them where their problem solving was and where their condition monitoring team was. And, they pointed me to two guys over in the corner after we had the whole tour and the whole shebang about what's going on at their plant. They scratched their head and say, yeah, these two guys. And there were two guys that were trying to do condition monitoring. They were pulled off the job all the time, but it was kind of their thing. It was their sideshow tent of where we were trying to improve through problem solving and we were trying to do condition monitoring. The plant was, I'm just going to be honest here, they were stagnant. They were great at time-based maintenance and executing it. And everybody was going through the motion of time-based maintenance. This is what we do. We have outages, time-based maintenance. But people forgot that the purpose of every reliability tool is to relentlessly attack waste. They were going through the motions and they eliminated a lot of waste probably 20 years earlier, but then they're just continued to do the same old thing. They forgot that their main game is to be a waste elimination machine. There was no passion to attack the waste every day. So that's an example of a plant that was once on top that fell behind. Now I'm going to give a lean example. So don't check out on me, you reliability maintenance guys. Lean and reliability are really the same things. They're both attacking waste. Lean's a little broader, includes production and back office kind of things. But my lean example is I had a lean coach. The last job I had a lean coach. And I met with her for 90 minutes every other week, really to get my coaching. Now think about this. I had over 30 years of experience and I had a personal coach assigned to me to help me understand the concepts, stay true to myself, stay true to the discipline. That's a big investment for a plant manager, 90 minutes every other week. I participated in observations. I was at every report out in observations. I couldn't be at every observation that was required, but I also had standard work in each week. I had 4 hours blocked out on my calendar every single week for observation of reality that helped me make better decisions. I required chalk circle observation for every approval. So if you wanted money, you wanted a process change, you wanted to buy something, you had to have 8 hours of chalk circle observation as part of the data set. I required all second level supervisors in the organization to certify with this lean coach that they have had the training and that they can demonstrate the behaviors from the lean training, in particular chalk circle observation, A3 thinking. They had to demonstrate that 5 times within 12 months. So demonstrate 5 times and go through the training. I, as the leader, mentioned lean, and I mentioned reliability, successes, failures, learnings in every discussion I had on the shop floor and in meetings, and all communication had that. Folks, that's what all in looks like. All in doesn't mean I gave a speech or I wrote an email, we're going to do the lean thing, we're going to do the reliability thing, and then I go off and do whatever I want and cut costs. It means I participate in the solution. I know how to help, and I modeled the way. Compare this to, and this is the lean example. Organizations, a lot of times they want to do lean, so they hire a black belt, coach, a Six Sigma black belt coach, put them over in the corner as their sideshow. Yeah, we're doing lean. Contrast that to what I walk through of what being all in with lean looks like. Hey folks, you got to refuse to cut cost. That only increases risk. Everybody knows it. It shows a lack of leadership, okay? Speed up the waste reduction machine. If your business is in a challenge, you should be thinking of how do we get the waste out faster, not how do we cut the risk reduction efforts and all the people working on risk reduction and increase the risk and cut costs. I mean, it's crazy when you sit here and thinking about it. It's simple, folks. Eliminate waste. It works in all business cycles. That should be your mantra. We relentlessly attack waste in all its forms, in all times, especially during a down cycle. We do not give up on our waste elimination machine. Hey folks, begin your journey. Sometimes I know I come across a little bit preachy, but I've had a few conversations through the week with few of you folks, and you can't do reliability and maintenance best practices part-time. it just doesn't work. You got to be all in. Are you all in at your plant? Joe, wow.